and welcome back. Gosh, these headphones are so loud. Maybe I'm just loud. Welcome back to episode 73 of the pre-production meeting. I'm your co-host, Josh Urquhart.
I'm your other co-host, Daniel Cogola.
And I'm the other co-host, Austin Scott.
And welcome back. This is going to be our final episode of the season.
Woo! Is it episode 23 of the season?
23. Oh, right. I thought you meant 23
No.
overall. I'm like,
Of the
guys.
season, I think, which is quite a bit.
Blocking out
That is quite a bit. Hold on.
Yeah.
I think these are... Oh, there you go. That's much better. Yeah, what... Is it 23 of the season?
I'm pretty sure when I uploaded the last one, it was 22 or 23. So
That's not bad. That's almost one every 2 weeks.
yeah, pretty good.
That's not bad at all. How have you, gents, been?
I've been swell, just enjoying the summer.
Yeah?
It's finally here.
Oh,
Yeah.
How about
same.
you? You
Yeah.
look so tired, Austin.
I'm
Bro,
fine.
hold on. I swear you guys were just both talking about having a midlife crisis like 5 minutes ago. And now you're
Save it
saying
for
you're
the
swell.
progress, Josh. You know, are you going through stuff too?
No, always. But no, things are sort of getting on top of things. So moving
Yeah,
some
that's
pieces
good.
around, and we're living. We're good.
Mate, it's good to have you back, more often than not now.
What this is because it went. I came back, then you did an episode.
Yeah,
now
and
I'm
then
back
now
again.
it's all of us.
And
Look at
then-
us go, three
then
this
we're
year.
all
for the
off.
finale.
Yeah, exactly.
Finale.
How beautiful.
God, what has been your favourite moments from this year, this season on the podcast? If you can remember
Yeah,
it.
is it bad that I can't remember any? Maybe we should do another highlight reel type.
Yeah,
I have
as like
to-
a bonus episode or
I
something.
have to look
Yeah.
and see because I think I did my first episode 2 weeks ago. So no, I think I did more.
How
I
many
think-
episodes has Austin done this year? Like 4?
Yeah, I think
I
so.
don't know. It was something like we had some good guests this year. I think that's
Yeah.
definitely something that
Finn
we.
and Ryan was really good.
Finn and Ryan
I
was
enjoyed that.
Anya. I really liked that
Was that
podcast.
this
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Oh
it feels
no!
like-
I got a memory for last year.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Gosh, that seems so. It's just because the Australian Office just came out. I'm like
Yeah.
thinking that it was recent. But it's been a pretty good year, boys. But look, let's have a nice, transparent, honesty conversation right now.
Let's do it.
Dan, tell us what's been going on in your head, mate.
Well, actually, it literally happened as of last night. You know how you have, like, I couldn't fall asleep. It was like 2 a.m.
Oh, you had a
And then it kind of...
existential
No, it wasn't too bad.
thinking about death. Oh, that's
No,
just me.
not quite. And then I woke up this morning and it sort of transitioned into the morning.
Yep.
No, I think, and what is fortunate is that I've been at this place before, but I've figured out how to deal with this stuff without going into crisis mode.
Mm-hmm.
So I've kind of just hit a point again where I'm like, okay, here's where I'm at. I think I need to reevaluate what I'm doing, where I'm going kind of thing, which, I was in this situation last year.
Mm-hmm.
But I think now I'm a lot more gentle about it because I'm like, it's okay.
You're so hard on yourself, Austin.
Yeah, and I'm like, it's okay. I'm still making progress, even if, like, you got to think of your career. It's not always a straight line. Sometimes it
yeah.
bends the line
100%,
and then
yeah.
lines up.
It's never a straight line at all.
Yeah. So I've decided.
Oh no.
Actually, maybe I'll leave this to the end when we talk about what we want to
Resolutions?
go to into next year. Yeah.
Okay.
Just
Yeah.
to touch on what you said about a straight line, a lot of people think that that's all it is. And then when you take your first detour, it's like, oh, fuck, well, I'm not
Yeah.
doing it anymore.
Yep.
And you just got to break that mold and just accept that it's going to be tens of thousands of forks in the road. It's never just one straight line
Yes.
to get to where you
Never,
need to
man.
be
Yes.
or want to be. So
And I think
that's life.
also sometimes it takes time to actually realize what your flaws are, like that thing that might be holding you back from getting to where you want to go. And I think for me, like throughout my career, there's just been a lot of fear, like fear to put myself forward, fear to try something new, and that's held me back at times. And I think I'm just kind of, I think it takes time to recognize that, and it takes time to work on that and to keep pushing through it.
Yeah.
Because you can
Definitely.
fall back into your old ways, you
Ooh,
know?
yeah, big time.
Like you might push for a bit and then you go, okay, I'm at a spot. And then you find yourself comfortable again. I mean, do you guys feel like you've gotten comfortable at where you are in your
Not
life
at
right
all.
now? or-
I think I'm a bit always uncomfortable, just
Okay.
purely because I I think it's weird, but I think I'm always uncomfortable, whether it's because fucking
It is quite hot in here.
where it's just like the process of filmmaking isn't going the way that you want, like when you're in filmmaking, or whether it's the fact that you're not in the process of filmmaking and you're trying to redirect your career, because our career is so, like, there's not one way into the industry. Like, it's always so up in the air and you have to make your own way into it. So I feel like I'm always uncomfortable because I don't know what's next. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's what I'll get into in my kind of projections for
So
next
do
year.
you feel like you crave that certainty?
Nah.
Okay, so you
Not at
enjoy
all.
the spontaneity.
100%. I enjoy it. It might suck for people in my life around me that want to plan things. Like, I don't know, buying a house or something. Like, I can't do that because
Yeah.
I don't know when I'm going to break in. You know what I mean? So that's, I guess, the negatives of it.
Do you feel like you will hit a point maybe when you're a bit older when you do need some of that structure or stability?
No. I'm sorry to whoever's like
Sarah's like, oh.
no, like of course I will. I think I have the structure and stability right now in
you
a
do.
different variation, and I feel like I will be able to give that to the people that want it in my life, right? But in terms of, I guess the industry, I feel like I will always be feeling uncomfortable, but I don't think that's a bad thing. I reflect like during moments throughout my week, and for example, I was driving over the Harbour Bridge, and for some reason I always have these introspective thoughts when driving over the fucking Harbour Bridge, right?
Big time, 100%.
Yeah, but like I was just thinking to myself yesterday, I'm like, God, like this fire that's burning inside of me to fucking make films and nothing else, like that is never dulled, and it's still as big for me now, if not bigger than it was when I first started this journey. And I'm like, it's literally all or nothing for me.
Yep.
Like I literally cannot see myself doing anything different, and I won't stop until I somewhat get there in the industry. And I know I'm a bit of a delusional optimist, and people may seek other things out in life, like stability, like, you know, comfortability and knowing what's next. But for me, I feel like this is the road that I'm on, and if I'm not doing this, then I don't see the point. I know it's going to sound dark, but I don't see the point of anything really.
Right.
I think ultimately
That's totally valid. That's
Yeah.
I think ultimately for any individual, it's just about figuring out what is best for you in your life. Right?
Yes.
And for you, if that pursuit is what makes your life the best it can be, then go for it. You know, there are other people who they need that security above anything else, and like, sure, go for that if that's for you.
Everybody's on different walks of life,
Yeah.
different situations. Like everybody has a different meaning and what they're striving towards. But yeah, mine is to, I don't know, I feel like I have very high aspirations, and I always have. And
Yeah,
I just don't see myself stop until I get it. Whether
that's great, dude.
I don't know.
A lot of people don't know that, so that's massive in
I
itself. And
am
what you want.
extremely lucky, and I know you boys are as well. But to have that passion, you know, some people don't, and they're driving, you know, fucking, this is nothing against forklift drivers, but like driving a forklift it's a metaphor, right? Driving a forklift for their whole life, right? But I literally feel it every day. I'm so lucky to have it. It literally feels like a burning fire inside me. Like, I need to fucking do this.
Yeah, 100%.
And you watch amazing movies, and it inspires you even more.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's kind of what's happened to me as well. I mean, it always happens to me. I mean, I watch movies every week, but that's kind of the thing I'm on.
Yeah.
You know,
Nice.
what about you, Oster? We've kind of shared our kind of how we're feeling towards the future. How's your relationship kind of, I guess, changed over time to where you are now with the future and the uncertainty of where you want to go in the industry?
I've sort of, I've been in two minds about it recently, but in a good way, about like, I'm sort of like comfortable with the fact that I'm at my own pace at the moment, because like a lot of the stuff that I'm doing, like I'm just kind of learning a whole bunch of stuff as well. Like, because when we first started this, I thought to myself, like, all right, we're at the start and the journey is just going to teach me so much. But like, I haven't learned a great deal, and like, I thought that I knew everything back then. But then after a while, I started to think to myself, no, I've still got so much to learn. And when I first had that thought, I was a bit uncomfortable with that. I was like, fuck, I don't know. Like, am I going to fall behind? Am I going to, like, is this going to slip away? And I did feel it slipping away for a bit. And I was like, no, I just got to dial it back and just kind of do it my way and figure out my way of life.
That's
like
the
you were
way.
saying before.
It's always finding about your way of life. Yeah.
I found that appreciating what I have, like what I've achieved in life and that kind of stuff, really went into my goals and aspirations as well. It's kind of like whatever's going to come will come. Whatever I miss. Like, I'm comfortable with that.
That's good.
So because I had the thought of like, you know, I've still got a film hanging over the top of me, like Stain is slowly progressing. I'm like, I don't know how to get it from here to where I need it to be, but I'm like, we'll get there eventually. Like, there's no rush whatsoever. Like, that's the beauty of it. There's no fucking executive producers breathing down my neck for it or
Have you
anything
thought
like that.
about maybe putting that to the side and just putting your focus on something new? Because
Yeah.
it feels like that particular film has just been a burden.
Well,
on you.
I feel
yeah.
like he did that, right? I
Absolutely,
feel like
yeah.
you put Stain to the side and
Yeah.
you put your energy elsewhere.
True. And you made Baron.
Yeah.
So
And now you're kind of on that narrow, which you were talking about last podcast, where
Yeah.
you're more comfortable in this position that you're in to feel like you can return to
Yeah,
Stain. Right?
exactly.
that's
So
true.
I went into Stain. I'll get into it more in the progress, but I went back into it, and I'm kind of getting the cogs moving again. But it's going to take time. But
Of
at the same time, I kind of poured a bit of energy into like a personal project that I'm kind of like. I'll get into it more in the progress, but like I'm kind of like I'm going to put my like heart into this and just kind of like whatever it will be.
That's
Like
the way.
yeah, as I said, I'll get into it more in the progress, but I'm kind of like I'm comfortable with where everything's at the moment, and just really like because I just got back from Canberra as well, so I was down there for a wedding, but like I kind of like filled my cup back up and kind of realized there's external things in life that I'm really grateful for, and like I kind of like was in a bit of a rut, but then I kind of when I went away, just kind of like forgot about it all. Really had the best time ever and sort of filled my cup up, and now I'm back kind of like, yeah,
That's good,
I
dude.
know what I want to do, and like I kind of know to a degree like how to get there, but it's going to change, which is the beauty of it.
Man,
So
I think the two takeaways from this little conversation, it's all about, you know, it takes a while, but you got to decide how you're going to fill your own cup up.
Mm-hmm.
And then number two, if you're in this industry, you got to be comfortable with being uncomfortable,
massively.
even for a little bit.
You know what's funny? I'm just thinking about when we started the pod and how we thought about things, and I think now we're realizing like how much of a long-term game it is,
Oh,
and
big
we've
time.
sort of shifted our mindsets to deal with that rather than having.
Yeah.
I think at the start, like I remember back in the days of film school, like you have these unrealistic expectations because you want everything so immediately, and you think that every film you're making is going to be the next big thing.
Massively.
And then as time
100%.
goes on, you're like, oh, maybe that's not the case. And then, but if you love it enough, you like adjust and just make it a long-term game instead of short-term.
I want to challenge you here.
Yeah.
Don't you think you have to have that mindset though? Even though your film probably isn't the best business,
Yeah.
but don't you have to have that mindset?
You definitely do. Like I think that every film I make, like as I'm making it, I'm like, this is the one that's going to change the
Yeah.
game for me.
Yeah,
and of
yeah.
course, like you have to care about it. You shouldn't go into it thinking it's going to be bad.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think I've also learned to relax a little bit at the same time
Not
because
put- so much pressure.
having that certain pressure when you're creating can just make you anxious sometimes.
Yeah, sure.
And I think just being like, you know what, like not everything might go perfectly on this shoot, but I'm
It
going to
will
do
never
the
go
best, and I'm
perfect,
going to
yeah.
like be in the room, and I'm going to look at every shot, and I'm going to make sure I've got what I want and do as much as I can in that moment and be happy with that and come to terms with it and make peace with what I've made.
yeah.
And just every project you make, is it just slightly better than the last?
Sure.
And you're
Sure.
on that upwards trajectory, then
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the way to go about it.
Do you know what? I don't think that'll ever change either.
Yeah.
No matter what kind of scale you're working at,
Yeah.
you're always going to have that, I
Yeah.
feel. And even the directors and stuff we look up to, they probably still have it as well.
Yeah.
Oh, of course, yeah.
It's really interesting to hear you say that because I feel like I take points of what you're saying and I'm the same. I also feel like I'm a bit different in
Yeah,
a
how
sense. I
so?
feel like everybody's a bit different, to be honest. I don't know. I feel like that pressure that says makes you a tiny bit anxious, I feel like that pressure for me, although in a sense that's the exact same for me, in a sense I feel like that pressure is what makes me strive for greatness and try and do something a bit different, and I put the
Yeah.
pressure on myself. But you're right, sometimes it really does have the adverse
I
effect
do
on me.
I do try and push myself with
I know.
everything
Yeah.
of it. But like now, actually, I've been reflecting recently on my films as well, and
Yeah.
I really want to up the ante
Good.
in terms of like
Nice.
making things that, because I've just kind
Push
of
the
made
boundaries.
Yeah, I feel like I've become comfortable in terms of like making things that I'm just like, I know how to shoot this, I know how to do this right, but I want to make something that someone looks at and they go, how did they do that? Or like it makes you think
like that, was that you who sent that fucking mirror shot into the... No, Sam sent it to me. It was this video of this, I forgot what film, it was from like a 1970.
I know exactly the shot you're
And
talking
she's
about.
like, is a little girl running
yeah,
throughout
it's
the
that
house.
famous one,
Bro,
yeah. But like,
That's nuts.
obviously now, like there's so much that people have done, so it's hard to do that because everyone's always
Yeah.
thinking of new stuff. But like, if you can just make something that makes, I think that's also how you like level up and get people to notice your work. If you can do things that people go, whoa.
Yeah.
Or like they're actually thinking about it. Or
I've been telling Austin this from fucking the moment go is like, hey, I mean, the thing I think of whenever I go into a film first is how am I going to try to do it different?
Yeah.
That's the first thing before any story, anything. It's like, how am I going to try push the boundaries?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that, it puts a pressure.
You know
It does put pressure on
You know what
yourself.
else is interesting though? I think with writing, I always was trying to reinvent the wheel. Like I was like, story wise, how can I come up with something that no one's done before and stuff? But the thing is, like,
More than likely, everybody's done
every
it.
story's been told, and every like character arc and character journey comes from a primitive place, which is like there's only like so many things that people go through, right? Like you've got
big time.
ambition, you've got desire, you've got like revenge, like you know what I mean? Like there are those character arcs that you see in story and story again. And those are the things that people want and people feel, and that's never going to change. But what you can change is just like the way you execute your story, just in that little 100%. Tiny way. Like you think of The Substance or something, just that little flair. But that story is not that unique. Right? Yeah, it's just the way they tell it.
I think you're 100% right. And to add on to that, what makes a difference is your voice. And although every character arc, whatever, comes from a primitive thing, every person is different. Everybody's been through different things. We've said this before.
Yeah,
everybody's been through different walks of life, therefore has their own voice and kind of thing to put on things.
But I think I just focused too much on trying to reinvent the wheel, and I threw too many rules out the window.
Okay.
And then, I mean, at least when I did Falling, I tried to do this non-linear story, and I was like, I don't want to use voiceover, and I don't want to do and then it ended up messing up the story because it didn't make sense. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe those techniques are there for a reason because they're supposed to.
Well, you got to master the rules before you break them.
Exactly, right? And that's what I kind of learned the hard way. But sometimes you need to learn the hard way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Alrighty,
Anyway.
that was good. All right, let's do a speed run through these movies because I feel like
you go.
Oh, I have quite a few.
Okay, go.
Speed run it.
So I've seen quite a few things this week. We'll start off with the TV shows. I tried to watch the first episode of Dune Prophecy.
Yeah.
And it was just so confusing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like, I don't know what Manny was saying. Like, it lacks flair. I think it's beautiful. I think it's incredibly made. I think it is a great, what's a predecessor? No, that's not the word.
Prequel?
No. Oh yeah, it is a prequel, but it's a great like next part of the series in the Dune. So yeah, it's a great spin-off. I think the cast is great. Just the story was a bit fucking weird. Okay. So I think I fell asleep, so I didn't end up watching it.
But just dreamed up the whole episode.
Yeah. But then I watched, like I was telling you boys, I started watching It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Yeah. Fantastic. I can't really tell what I was talking about before this, but holy crap, it is like super politically.
What year did it start?
Like 2005, 2003 or something. I don't know. But it is so funny.
I feel like the way they probably get away with it is by making fun of everyone equally, right? Because you said there's different episodes on different groups.
But I searched up, apparently there's 5 banned episodes.
Oh god.
But anyways, they're coming on to their 17th series.
Yeah, it's
season.
Oh, it's still going.
Still going. They're doing their last season next year.
Isn't Charlie Day like a psychopath in it or something?
Bro, they're all fucking psychopaths, bro. I just got introduced to Danny DeVito's character.
I've seen the clips of him, yeah.
I've only heard one thing with Danny DeVito on that show.
Bro, it is elite. I definitely recommend. Now, it's really exciting. I'm feeling the festive spirit this year, boys.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I've actually created a Christmas list to start in December, watching a film every day as like a little Christmas advent calendar.
Cute.
But to get me in the mood for that, I've been watching some Christmas movies as well.
Yeah.
So I think the last thing I talked about when I was on here was Here, the movie with Tom Hanks and stuff like that.
Is that a Christmas movie?
No, but I'm getting into some of the Christmas movies that I watch. So I'll start with the Christmas movies. I watched this movie called Last Christmas. Now, Indy, you've seen all of these. I go onto the reviews and you've logged literally every single one. So I know you probably... Loved it. Thought it was fucking stupid. I thought it was so silly, bro. The ending, the twist was probably the silliest twist I've ever seen in my life. Do you remember it?
Yeah. I think it worked for me because I didn't know anything about it.
I didn't know anything about it either.
I
just was like, bro, this is silly as. Have you seen it?
No.
Oh.
I don't
Anyways,
care about spoilers.
I gave it 2 out of 5. Now,
yeah, that's a low for Josh.
yeah, I watched Red One.
Oh, yeah.
with
Fuck.
Dwayne. Look, it was a bit of fun. Get you a little bit in the Christmas spirit, I guess.
5
But
stars.
Dwayne Johnson, best actor of all time. Give him that Oscar. No. But Chris Evans, man, what a fall off.
Oh, really?
Like, I feel
Fall
like
needs to be studied.
Yeah,
Anna
the
de
fall.
Armas
Okay,
movie, yeah.
look, I'm not. That was just like a following the crowd comment, just because I've been seeing it everywhere. Look, he can do whatever. He's a great actor. We all know he's a great actor.
Yeah.
And I just feel like he's just chosen to go down like the Dwayne Johnson route, after
right.
Marvel. But he's a fantastic actor. I know he has range,
Yeah.
but whatever he does.
What else has he been good in other than Marvel? Did you see that movie Gifted where he's got the little girl?
Yeah.
No, but I've been meaning
supposed to be
to.
good.
Yeah,
I watched it. It was a decent
Yeah,
flick. Yeah.
Then he's done like the Anna de Armas movie. Like that
was
was
out.
trash.
I was
Oh,
about,
the fuck. No, don't even.
Yeah.
I don't want to say the name.
yeah.
That movie was.
I was about to say he doesn't have that much range, but then I realized. Then I thought of him in Scott Pilgrim vs. the World versus him as
Cap.
Human Torch and then
Yeah,
as,
Johnny
as Cap,
Storm,
and I'm like,
yeah.
he's so different in all
He
three of
does.
those roles. So
100%.
he does have range, yeah.
It's a fun movie.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad, but it's fun. It's fun. I gave it 3.1.
Okay.
The last Christmas movie I watched was called Meet Me Next Christmas.
I thought you were gonna say Meet Me at Ours.
No. Meet Me Next Christmas, which is
Yeah.
just a Netflix one that they released this year. I loved it. I thought it was.
I love it.
Sorry, that was too close. Oh, I loved it. I don't know why I said Austin's face was
bro, it was like Vietnam flashbacks then, bro. That.
Oh, you did it, me. You did it, me in that situation. Fuck, these guys won't know what we're laughing about, but fuck, if you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
Fuck
Oh
yeah.
my
Anyways, I loved it, man. It was everything I was looking for in a Christmas movie. It was cheesy but good at the same time. There's movies that are like bad. This was not even bad. Is you right?
We've lost Austin.
It was.
Sorry. Go
That's
on.
all right. It wasn't even bad, but it was great. I gave it 3.5. I thought it was fucking fantastic. If you want a good, cheesy, traditional Christmas movie, I loved it. So fucking go give it a watch. Meet Me Next Christmas. I started watching this movie called Hot Frosty with Sarah, and man, that was bad. Somehow that was getting
Did that just
80.
drop on Netflix?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's that one about?
I've seen it on the thing. I haven't pressed play on it though.
So it is about this snowman that this lady puts a scarf over, and the snowman comes to life as this
yep.
jacked, like actor dude.
Of course.
Okay. Sounds like a Wattpad story.
Yeah, it would. I don't. What's a Wattpad?
Yeah, what's
Oh, Wattpad's like this app where people write like all these really bad fiction.
Yeah, and
stories.
people act it out and
Yeah.
like vertical
No,
series.
well, it's like, do you know the After series?
Yes.
Is in the
Yep.
that came from
Oh.
Wattpad stories.
really.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
and there's a few other films that are based. I think there's another, like, couple other movies that got made from them. But yeah,
Yeah, right. Okay. Well, fair enough. So I watched those. Those were my Christmas movies so far. I've made a whole list for December, which is pretty cool. Now I'll go through my next one that I've seen. Little Women. I watched.
Oh yeah, which the newer one?
Yeah, the newer
Oh, yeah.
one.
I like that movie.
Yeah, I didn't really like it. I gave it 2.75.
Ooh.
Wasn't. I just felt it was a bit boring.
Fair enough.
Like, I also don't think it was the film for me.
Yeah,
I mean,
mine just not-
obviously, but like, I just don't feel like there was much of a storyline. I feel like it was a bit of a slice of your life kind of.
Yeah, that's just the kind of film it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Is
It
that-
was slow.
Florence Pugh.
Yeah, Timothy Chalamet,
Yeah,
Saoirse Ronan. It's a
Saoirse
stacked
Ronan.
Hey,
cast.
Florence Pugh was great.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all pretty great in it.
Yeah, Florence Pugh was actually great.
You reckon?
So
I thought Timmy and Saoirse were great.
Florence Pugh was great.
Okay.
It's always great.
She's
Got
always
favoritism.
great. Nah, Timmy was good actually.
Yeah.
It was a good cast, well acted. Just
Not your thing. Yeah. that's
another
fair.
thing. I watched a movie that you gave 5 out of 5 for the first time.
Yes,
I watched 500 Days of Summer
Oh, really?
for the very first time.
Yeah, right. You like it?
I gave it 5 as well.
Nice.
I thought it was really good. I think it was so different from any kind of love story I've ever
Yeah.
seen.
Right.
It wasn't a love story.
It's quite melancholic, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Big
But
time.
I was
also,
actually going
like-
to tell you to watch it, but then I saw that
seen
you've
it.
already watched it. I'm like, feel like you would really connect with it.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I could actually see you as the main character.
Joseph Gordon.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know, I could just
Like
see
the expectations versus reality bit.
Yeah. Oh, that was fantastic.
Yeah, it's so
I
good
think
how they
it
do that.
really pushed the envelope.
Yeah.
As to what
Especially at the time when it came out.
Oh my god! Bro, that's insane. Like I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
As like a
Also, the
call it a-
non-linear storytelling.
Oh my
Yes,
god.
yeah.
Yeah. No, I think I really connected with it. 'Cause we're just talking about how things push the envelope, and I feel like
Yes.
this does. I don't think we've ever seen anything like this for a kind of film like that, and I think it almost had like the La La Land effect of like it's not gonna go the way you think,
Yeah.
but
for
that's
sure.
reality.
Yeah.
It had
You
that
know what I mean?
broken record moment as well. You know how in Fetty's movie, it's like he doesn't take that chance, and then when
Yeah.
at the end when like he just sort of brushes the girl off, and I was like, you better fucking turn around and you better go back and introduce yourself to her, and then you get that pause moment, and then he turns around and goes, oh, oh, thank God.
I think one of the best mic drop moments in cinema that I've seen recently, definitely, with the very, very end when he asks what her name is, and she's like, oh, Autumn.
Yep.
I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
What was
That-
that from?
It was at the very end of the movie when he's
500 Days of
yeah,
Summer.
Yeah.
And he
Oh,
asks
is
what
that her name?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and she's like Autumn, and he looks at the camera and breaks the fourth wall.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's where
Chef's
it ends.
kiss.
Kinda
Perfect.
Beautiful.
Bit
So
corny, but
it was cool.
I need to rewatch it. Maybe it works.
Yeah.
I'm sure it
Yeah,
works.
that made my list.
Oh no, I do remember the moment now. Yeah.
Number 38. So went between Eternal Sunshine at 37 and then Barbie at 39. So there you go. So now I will talk about Glicked. Glicked.
Glick.
Yeah, Gladiator and then Wicked.
Oh.
I saw them.
Oh,
Not the other word for it.
What? Gladict? I went and saw Gladict, not right next to each other, but I saw them both. Now,
Yeah, tell us.
I'll start with Gladiator. Didn't love it.
Okay.
Loved the first one, thought it was a bit of a copy and paste.
Yep.
Not saying, though, the performances were fantastic. Paul Mescal, Denzel Washington, amazing. I just felt like it was a very dull kind of movie.
I've heard
with-
that Denzel just channels Lorenzo from Training Day.
I haven't seen Training Day, so I can't really comment
seen
on
I
that.
haven't seen. Yeah, love it.
Yeah,
that's like
apparently
one of his best
that's
performances.
that's what he won
Okay.
awards for.
All
But
right.
that apparently, I've heard that he channels
Yeah.
that
Okay.
character
Well,
into Gladiator.
That's
I
not
was like,
something I'd be angry about.
yeah,
seeing.
no, me either.
Fantastic performances. I just really feel like they just... You guys haven't seen it, eh?
Yeah.
No.
It was just a copy and paste from the first movie, but also it made the first movie completely redundant.
Oh no.
Like it literally, it's so confusing because I'm like, did Ridley want to make this, or did the studio come to him and say, make this? Because
It's got that Matrix.
the second
kinda-
it really, and this
treatment.
doesn't spoil anything really, but it makes everything that happened at the end of the first movie completely like it never happened. Like it did happen, but like the effects of what you thought was going to be a better
Yeah.
Rome just never turned out to
yeah.
be. So that first movie is literally
It's
nothing.
It's the Luke Skywalker treatment.
Yeah, it just I see what you mean,
Yeah,
and it
it's
was
like-
just yeah.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
That that put a bad taste in my mouth because I don't really usually, what's it called, rate things going off their past predecessors. That was the correct.
I kind
word
of
you
feel like
said,
as
but-
well, naming it Gladiator 2 doesn't really, like, it should be something else related to Gladiator. Do you know what I mean? It should
Yeah.
be Gladiator 2.
Yeah,
if
but
that makes
then-
sense.
Yeah, but then it would be like it's a complete copy of Gladiator, which it is though. It's just like it's
you mean
literally
like
the
Gladiator Rome uprising?
Yeah,
or
like,
some
yeah,
shit, whatever.
something-
I don't know.
Not
Yeah.
not like the
yeah.
a Knives Out story title, that kind of
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
debacle,
but
but
just
something
like
different
words.
related to
Or
Gladiator.
maybe like a spin-off would have been better than
Yeah.
just a straight sequel.
I don't know. When I saw like Gladiator 2, I was like, that doesn't work. That's just
I-
me. That's my.
I couldn't believe how much of literally the exact same story it was. Just Paul Mescal's now in Russell Crowe's fucking thing.
yeah.
Literally, it's the exact same, except certain parts. But anyways, I still really like the performances, so I gave it a 3.4. My review was exactly that. Bit of a copy and paste from the original.
Yep.
Fantastic performance by Mescal and Washington.
Nice.
Now, Wicked.
Wicked.
Was it wicked?
I saw both Gladiator and Wicked in IMAX. Don't even get me fucking started about
Oh god.
how much of a scam that was.
Yeah.
Them promoting all over IMAX that they're both IMAX films
That is a scam.
when
yeah.
neither were. They were just filmed in fucking widescreen.
I'm guessing you sat right at the back as well.
No, we sat like middle of the range, so it was good. I wish I saw it when they're films like that. I would rather see it in VMAX because the whole screen's taken up.
Yeah.
You know, but it was just a bit redundant seeing it in IMAX. I love that word. But
Which one, redundant or IMAX?
redundant. Wicked was, I don't know. It was amazing. It was perfect
Oh.
to me.
Have you seen the play?
Yeah,
You think it's better than the play or equal or
by far.
better?
By far.
The movie's better than the play, or the play is better than the movie?
I wasn't like amazed by the play. Like I'd seen better like kind of productions. I loved the story, but I think this was just a cinematic story like waiting to happen. And I've been on such a high all week since seeing that. And I've stopped being really excited in the group chat because people just like to go, "Oh, your opinion doesn't matter." Lockie. So I just don't be excited anymore. But I love it, man. It's one of those movies where you really love it and then you get so obsessed with it and you
That's
go
good.
deep dive into
No,
it.
I'm happy that you can enjoy a movie.
that,
Like
yeah.
that's what movies are about, bro. That's why we.
Yeah, and like I'm obsessed now. Like I basically know everything about the fucking production. I've watched the documentary that fucking Channel 7 made about Channel 7 making a documentary. But I just love how Ariana was like fighting for that role her whole life. Literally met the stage counterpart of Glinda when she was 5 years old and wanted to be like her growing up. And I just find it a really nice story. No matter how high in stardom she got, you know, there was always something for her to strive for. You know, there was never a ceiling for her, I guess. And seeing her get her dream role and being look, everybody loves to kind of mac on about the fucking them being emotional in the press tour, but I get it. Like I see the movie and I see how much passion and like these girls love the characters so much and each other as well. Like they form such a great relationship and you can see that in the performances. And non-biasedly, like I think it's going to be nominated for everything.
You think?
Okay.
Yeah, maybe not. Oh, you know what? I think about it. Yeah, I think it might be, except like leading actor and leading supporting.
Was
Even
Ariana
though
good in it?
I think it's her best performance. Well, I
Really?
mean, she doesn't really have a lot to go off, but like, I think she is the front runner to win Best Supporting. And I've seen comments of people that it's been really good seeing, because the internet's such a toxic place. We've talked about this before. I deleted X because Twitter is just so negative, right?
Yeah.
But seeing people come together for this movie has been so good and refreshing to see. You know, the only thing people can like cry about is Ariana holding her finger in like a press thing instead of holding her hand. Like that's the thing that people are complaining about. Fantastic, and they're
that's
not
true.
they're not complaining about the actual movie.
That's true. I haven't seen anyone complain about. How the
I've
movie
seen
sucks or anything.
people like Chris Stuckman
Yeah,
or whatever. I watched his review. I don't usually watch his review,
Yeah.
but like he's like, I'm not a fan of musicals, but this blew me away. And like hearing shit like that from people that don't usually like that stuff.
Okay.
I don't know. It's just one of those movies that universally I feel like is loved.
Okay.
Again,
You
if
kind of
it's
sold me on it because I wasn't really interested.
oh, no,
in
I
it, but
hate
now
when
I'm
I
like,
do that because you go in and you hate it.
Yeah. Not always.
Train
but-
fever.
If it's not your cup of tea, it's not going to be your cup of tea.
100%.
Like it's
100%, absolutely.
definitely not your cup of tea.
Hey, give me a chance.
But I'll give you a chance. There is a bit of fighting, but not a lot. They're mostly levitating and shit. But I don't know. It's just really inspired. It's really inspired me, and I love musicals, right? I love Broadway. I love stage plays. I love the creativity and everything to do with it. And I feel like this was perfect. And it's really cool because they haven't been promoting it as a part 1, but it's a part 1.
Okay.
Right? But you've seen the play.
Yeah, no, actually.
It's the intermission.
Yeah, okay.
That's
All right.
they're two completely different stories.
Yeah.
So he's
cool.
cut it where the intermission is.
Okay.
And they filmed it back to back.
How long is the movie?
2.5 hours. Or
Okay,
2 hours,
wow.
40 minutes, sorry.
So it's like a lot longer than the play.
2 foot, yeah, a lot longer, but you need it. I
It's
mean,
not. It doesn't feel like they've added.
not at all.
Really?
No. I mean,
Wow.
my personal opinion, you guys may have a completely different
okay.
thing. So
I wanna
don't
see
get
this.
your fucking
No, I'm just curious now.
your hopes up. I fucking really loved it, man.
Okay.
And
yeah,
the
dude.
music was amazing. And oh man, I just feel, and Cynthia Erivo, her performance, what I really took out of it was, if anything, the performances were my favorite part of it. Like the way that she acts, and this really picked out is just like a lot of her acting is just through her eyes. The whole movie, yes, she has fantastic delivery and stuff, but her best acting from both of them actually is when it's silent. And you see Cynthia's eyes, and she's big,
good.
beautiful eyes, just like you know, her whole body's green, but her eyes are the thing that stands out.
Yeah.
And you know, that's
Which it's interesting seeing like how adaptions work differently, right? Because in the theater, obviously they're standing so far away that you don't have that kind of acting. You know?
100%, right? And that's the difference.
Yeah.
And people are saying it's the best like stage to screen adaptation. It's broken records. Like it got like 111 million in its opening weekend, which has beat the prior stage adaptation. I don't know what it was, but the prior one was like 30 mil or something like that. So, but yeah, I love it. Gave it 5 out of 5. That
Made
went
the
on
list.
number 29. So below the Fablemans, above the Wild Robot.
Nice.
So,
fuck yeah, dude.
but I'm obsessed with it. I just think movies that require that much creativity from all aspects, singing, dancing, and you know what's fucked about it? They sung everything live.
Damn.
Everything you see them singing, it's not recorded.
Oh, wow.
So everything that you see in the movie is them singing it live. Even when she's up in the air flying around, she's singing it live. That was the main thing.
Damn.
Random question, not related. Has your top 3 changed at all, or it's stayed? What's your top 3 again?
Still La La Land, The Prestige, and Inception.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Good.
So, yeah.
strong.
Anyways, that's my sorry, boys. I went on for a bit long there.
That's
Nice.
all good.
Take it away.
Okay, I only watched 2 films this week, but I have a bit to say
Yep.
about them.
Ooh.
So, well, about the second one.
Okay.
But the first one I watched, what's it called? Oh, The Gentleman.
Yeah.
Richie
So
Mille.
you only gave it 3.
I didn't like it that much.
Austin loves it. I love
You
it
love
as
it?
well, but like not as
Oh,
much
man.
as you.
I've watched it so many times.
Really?
Yeah, bro, I can't get enough of it.
The second half was better than the first half because there's more happening.
Although the one thing I can't wrap my head around is when he ran after that kid, and then he pulls out a fucking Tommy gun out of his
Oh
coat.
yeah,
Like,
no, I actually kind of like that.
no,
bit.
like it's good, it's cool, gangster,
It
but
is a
like
bit-
you're like,
yeah, you're like, come on.
Did you have that strapped to your leg
That-
while
yeah.
you're running? Like, yeah. Anyway,
yeah, but
that's
if
my
you,
only
if
quote
you
with
turn
it.
your brain off,
Literally, yeah, 100%. Anyway, sorry, go on.
The reason I didn't like the first half is because it's so expositional.
Oh yeah,
And I'm not a massive fan of heavy exposition.
Yep.
My brain kind
I
of
get
turns
that.
off. I'm like, I'd rather watch a film where I see the characters in scenes that tell us who they are, rather than have an hour. Literally, the first hour of the film is us seeing people and just what's his name?
McConaughey,
No, the
Charlie
other
Hunnam?
guy,
Hunman,
the guy that was in
Penguin.
Heretic.
Hugh Grant.
Hugh
Yeah,
Grant,
it's just Hugh Grant narrating for like an hour, like what's happening, and I'm like, this is like
Okay,
kind of not the most interesting way to tell this
Fair.
kind of story. But I get that like there are other films that tell stories. I prefer something like Goodfellas to tell like a crime film where you actually see
Yeah,
them going through the walks of lives, and then you get a voiceover being like, "This is my family," like you know, that's what I kind of prefer.
It was my family.
Yeah, but no, it got better in the second half because it was
Oh, yeah.
less of that kind of voiceover stuff, and it was more just them playing out
100%.
what the first half set up.
what do they call the group? The under Colin Farrell's character? Is it the kids or the tiny?
Oh
Or the
yeah,
toddlers
I
or
can't
something?
remember now, but yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck, they were cool, man. They were
Yeah,
mad.
yeah.
there was a couple of things I found a little bit predictable as well. Like I saw this coming from the start. Well, kind of a little bit of a spoiler, or it is a spoiler.
It's
You know
been
how
out
you
long enough. Yeah.
Yeah, you know how you think that Matthew McConaughey gets shot at the very start,
Yeah.
and then they reveal that it was actually someone next to him and his blood splatter.
Yeah.
I like called that from the
Oh,
start.
yeah,
and I was like,
100%.
So little things like
Someone
that,
like
but
him doesn't sign on for a role. You get
That's
killed
what I
in the
mean.
first 2
Yeah,
minutes.
that's why I was
Yeah.
kind of like, oh yeah,
I just feel like it's a very British
Oh,
yeah,
movie. And
yeah.
if you're not into that, it is a whole different genre. Like British TV, British film.
No, but I love British stuff.
you do?
I don't think this particular way of storytelling is for me.
Sure.
Just with a lot of I'm not massive on like really like films with heaps of dialogue in general. Like you know how you have all those political movies or even some crime movies where it's just like talking rather
Yeah.
than like
Like Oppenheimer.
yeah, honestly, yeah. Like
Yeah.
I enjoyed like maybe the first half of Oppenheimer.
So did I.
and then you know when it got to like the second court
Yep.
hearing, I was like,
Bro,
oh,
that was
like-
literally the exact same.
yeah.
Yep.
But there
Still
are
haven't
moments
seen
of Oppenheimer I really love.
Same. Yeah. Agreed.
But yeah, so that's kind of so I just gave it 3 out of 5 because that was kind of
Nice.
my overall feeling towards it. And then the other film that I watched was last night. So I had just finished the book, The Hunger Games: Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. And
Yeah.
you know that I'm a massive fan. of
Yeah,
this
yeah. I
franchise.
saw your review this morning.
Yeah, so my
Wait, did you
review
watch
straight to the point?
my
that one
review
last
was
night?
my review was 3 words. Book was better.
Oh, okay. What did you give it?
3.5.
That's
Yeah,
still
I think
decent.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah,
to be
so
honest.
I think I'm also right there with you guys. Hold on.
Yeah.
Did we all rate it the same?
Fuck me. Did I not even log it? I swear I did.
it is
What
kind of
the
a,
fuck?
I gave it 4.
Oh, there it is.
okay.
Yeah, Austin gave
Yeah, I
it 4.
gave it 4.
You gave 3.5.
Too long. Too fucking long.
No, well,
really.
you know what I was going to say about that? I actually don't think it's long enough. I
Oh,
think,
okay.
well, because I've read the book and it's a 500-page book and there's
Yeah,
a lot that
okay.
they cut out. They've actually cut out the most they can while telling that story. But I understand why you think it's too long. It's because you're like, oh, it's the Hunger Games. It should just be the games. But the reason,
Yeah,
the
to a
reason
degree.
it's the reason it's different is because it's about Snow and the fact that he, like, it's the beginning before the games, and then there's the fallout. Like everything that
Yeah,
happens
fair.
after, and that's still all important to the story. And
Yeah.
it's about the love story and things that happen. But no, like it's just because the book, like I love the book, and it's a hard book to adapt because so much of what makes it interesting is seeing, because it's about President Snow when he's young, and you see his thought process, and he's a sociopath.
Yeah.
So like
absolutely.
he seems like he thinks like a politician, right? So he has a motive behind everything he does, and every time he shows compassion, it's because he knows he can get something out of someone, or like he's always got an ulterior motive.
Yep.
And you see, like in the book, you know what his thought process is. So you know, oh no, he's actually doing this because of this.
100%.
But then what he says is different.
Yep.
But in the movie, you don't get so much of that because it's just him, kind of just, you don't get that. So I couldn't help but like, and there were also like so many moments in the book that were really impactful that they kind of just like rushed over in the movie. And I couldn't help but be like, oh, if I was to do this, I would have directed it like another way, kind of like you can like visualize
Yeah, cool.
exactly how you would have done it. I thought the casting was great. Like the guy, Tom Blythe, who they cast for Snow, was like, he looks exactly and sounds exactly from the book.
Yeah.
I thought it was Taz Skylar when I first saw
Who's that?
the Sanji from One Piece.
I was just about to
Oh,
say
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks
You
like
read my mind.
I thought it was him, and I was like, "Oh fuck, I'm watching this because Taz Skylar." And I was
does
like, "Oh,
look a
this
bit
isn't
like him,
Taz
yeah.
Skylar." But this guy's Billy the Kid, isn't he? That show that's on Stan.
I'm not
like
sure. I
a
haven't seen it.
Western show.
I think
that's
so.
an outlaw.
Might be.
Yeah.
And then it has the best action star of 2023, Rachel Zegler.
Yeah, well, I was just about to mention her because
Look at us, bro.
do you not like her?
Well, she won
No,
over John Wick.
How the
for,
fuck
like,
did she beat
best-
John Wick 4?
best
Wait, what do you
action.
mean?
She got Best Action Star. John Wick
Oh,
4
for
was
this movie?
nominated for this movie.
Oh, come on.
It's because the critics went and watched that one fucking film out of all the nominations.
You know what I was thinking would be sick?
Ooh.
A Hunger Games, but instead of like a bunch of kids, it's like 20 assassants
Oh.
in an arena, and it's like a battle to the
Hey,
death. That would
that's
be
an
sick.
idea.
That's like a
Nobody steal that idea.
10. Yeah, cut this part out. Whoever's
Sick would that
editing
be?
this.
Like,
We'll make it. Let's do it.
that would be mad. Eh?
That's a great idea.
Yeah, because the whole thing in the
nobody
Hunger
steal-
Games is that the kids don't really know what they're doing. I mean, you've got the higher district kids who like train for it, but like imagine like full on assassins.
100%.
Like, man, that would be crazy. But back
you
to
go.
Rachel Zegler, I think, and interesting. I'm actually going to mention Normal People as well because I noticed something similar in that adaptation to here. But both like Daisy Edgar Jones and Rachel Zegler,
They run the same.
No, their versions of the character are more aggressive for some reason.
Physically, right? Is that what? Yeah. Oh my god.
No, their versions of their characters are more aggressive in the live action than the book.
Yeah.
And it's because I think they're both similar in the sense that they're witty characters that kind of charm you. And then
I know of another example that's pretty more dominant in the movie than it is in the book.
which one?
How did you put your name in the goblet of fire?
Yeah,
He said
yeah.
calmly.
honestly, like that. Yeah. And it's like, why? Like,
Oh, I love that. That's
I feel
hilarious.
like it kind of like Rachel Ziegler was kind of angry in every like scene that she was in, and I think apparently her reasoning for that was because she wanted to seem threatening to Snow. And then I'm like, that's not what this story is. Like, she's supposed to be a performer. She's supposed to be charming, and she's supposed to win over the crowd, right? And it's this, you know, this love story because like she trusts President Snow, well, Cornelius, and she sort of realizes as time goes along that he, spoiler alert, can't be trusted. And that's the whole fallout. That's the whole tragedy of it. And by having her just being like angry, it takes away that charm of the character, the essence of the character.
Yeah.
It's also too similar to Katniss because she's supposed to be stubborn and abrasive, and then it's just like, okay, now we just have another version of her instead of someone who's actually like different by being like charming and interesting and winning over the crowd. You know?
100%. Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know.
Agreed.
I didn't like that.
Oh, fair enough.
So
man.
many other things I can go into detail about that. They just, I don't know. And I get like they have to cut it down. They have to take out certain details, but just moments that I just feel like, and also the cinematography was weird. It was
Yeah.
very Terrence Malick, like wide shots, low angle.
Yep.
I'm like, can we just have the camera at the same level as the actors, please? Like, I prefer how they shot the original ones because it's more long lenses and it feels more claustrophobic.
100%.
Yeah, look, I'm starting to think and see the best adaptations are the ones that just stay close to the source material, man.
Absolutely.
Like,
But
I don't understand. I get it. Sometimes you have to change it for film, but like,
you know what it is, though? It's like, I think the best adaptations, I think with every story, right? There's one best medium to tell that story, and then the others are never going to be as good, right? So all the movies that are based on books, that the movie's better than the book, is because the book was lacking something that the movie provided. Like you
Right.
think of Fight Club, apparently the book's not that great
yeah.
because the movie provided
Didn't even know there was a book.
Yeah,
Fight
exactly.
Club.
Yeah.
How terrible that
It came out before and it was based off that. And then, but if the book is already great and you try and adapt it, it's never going to be as good in comparison. That's why I actually think the Catching Fire movie is better than the book because there was a lot of filler in the book. And because the movie's shorter, it took out all that filler, and the way they shot it was like just really nice and it just worked.
Yeah.
And just the chemistry of the cast and stuff in that movie really
Yeah,
worked.
cool.
But it was disappointing as well because it's the same director that did Catching Fire and Mockingjay, but I just feel like he sort of dropped the ball a bit in this one.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, so that's my opinion.
So I want to talk about one movie
Nice.
and two shows. The movie that I want to talk about is Rebel Ridge. Have you guys?
No,
watched
I
that?
heard of it.
Right, it's a smoky. It is
Yeah,
so
I heard it was
fucking
alright,
underrated.
eh?
It's not funny. Like I went into it thinking, it's just going to be like a run of the numbers, like pretty much Reacher.
You know
again.
who he just got cast as?
Who?
The new Green Lantern.
Oh shit, did he?
He's
Who is it?
John Stewart. Aaron Pierre.
Yeah, Aaron Pierre. Fuck, dude, what a handsome guy.
Yeah, James Gunn just hired. He's the main.
Good,
Green
good.
Lantern.
It's a film, like you would have seen it in my review on Letterboxd. Like it doesn't try to be anything more than what it actually is. It keeps itself grounded, and there's no like. And I kind of did what you did with Wicked. Once I watched this, I kind of went down the rabbit hole, like did a whole bunch of research on it and figured out the ins and outs of it all,
Nice.
which because I just fucking loved it.
Yeah.
And both Aaron Pierre and the director, I forget his name, but they both said like, you know, we don't want to do like a stylized action movie. Like you want to have a protagonist that's capable of doing stuff, but you don't want to do like, because it's pretty overdone. Like the whole John Wicks and all the martial arts movies and stuff like that. Like it's all stylized, which looks great and everything like that. But then when it's like sort of gritty and real and like just grounded, I feel like it has a bit more of an effect as well. Like it kind of
for sure.
you kind of
Relatable.
relate to it more. But he's just a protagonist that walks around and he just knows that the world's full of shit people. And like in this movie, like he's just kind of like I've got to defend myself and like I've got to be the smartest person in the room and all that because he's dealing with like town's like corruption to a degree and stuff. So he's like, I've got to be smart and like capable and defend myself against these people.
Yeah.
And like I won't spoil it, but like throughout the movie, like
they all die.
Things start to reveal themselves, and you're like, oh fuck, like this is great writing because he's just so aware of everything, and just truly like great. And like the one moment that stands out the most was what was his name in The Office? Pam's
Roy.
That actor, I want you to picture him for a sec. Towards like, it's not a huge spoiler for the movie, but towards the end in the like fight scene, I guess, like out front of the police station, he gets shot, and Aaron Pierre has to drag him behind a cop car for cover. And in the production, they were doing it with wires and all that, like assisted. But then Aaron Pierre's like, "Can I just try it without the wires?" And the director's like, "Fuck it, all right, let's try it." And you can tell, like, he does it for real.
Like drags him across
the ground, and like you see, like, because he's like being held up, and then he like sort of sprints for him, grabs him, and you see like the like grab and then drag, and like you just look at it, you go, that was done for real. Like that's not assisted, and like it credit to him, because that would have like you just go, fuck it, I want to see what it looks like, and he actually did it, and you're like, that's the realism of the whole movie and the way they keep it all grounded. And dude, like the I'm forgetting her name, but Bridge to Terabithia girl. Does anybody know her name?
The girl that plays Leslie.
Yeah, the blonde.
It's not Chloe Grace Moretz.
No.
I don't know her name, but
Sophie.
I didn't even know she's still like.
Yeah, me either. When she was like, hey, hang on, that's her.
Nice. How old is she now?
She'd be
30.
Yeah, 30s something. But she's great in it as well. It's kind of like your, I guess, information character about everything that's going on, but she plays it really well, and she has her own battles and struggles and stuff that it's just done really well. So I recommend it. Like truly check it out.
What did you rate it?
4.5.
Yeah.
4.5.
It's on Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix.
Fantastic.
And then the two shows I want to talk about, I won't go too much into it, but I finished Arcane yesterday.
Second season. I heard that's got mixed reviews.
Yeah,
really?
Look, this season's definitely weaker than the first. I feel like there was a bit of... So the first one, they kind of did it as like a passion project, and I think some more hands got involved. Like, I don't know too much about the League of Legends world, but I just feel like it was a bit like... I was like, what's going on? Like, and then they did this whole timeline thing. I'm like, I'm sick of seeing this. Like, you got to jump to another timeline to fix some shit. I'm like, for fuck's sake. Like,
multiverse kind of...
once it happened, I was just
fuck the multiverse.
Yeah, I just checked out as soon as they were like, "Oh, you're here." Like, I'm not supposed to be here. I was like, "Oh, stop!" Like, I'm over it. I'm done. Yeah. Anyway, once they fixed it and got back to the original stories with the characters we've grasped onto, it was good again. And there are a couple of like I said, I think I said it last time. Arcane doesn't pull punches. Like, you just amazed at what they actually do to the characters you care about. Yeah, but no, outstanding animation. It's one of the most beautiful like things I've seen in a very, very long time.
I saw some frames from it. It looks stunning.
Like the animation is just effortless. Like, it just looks, you forget it's animation, really.
Nice.
And then so pretty much that's Arcane. Like, just switch your brain off and enjoy it. And Jinx is still one of the greatest characters I've ever seen. Ella Purnell, she's killing it at the moment.
Haley Steinfeld as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And then I am like obsessed with and can't stop watching Mr. In Between.
Yes, finally.
That's one of Dan's
I've been dying for someone else to watch it. Thank you. Where are you up to?
I've got 3 episodes left of season 3.
Dude, how good was season 2?
Season 2 was it.
Did you like the finale, season 2?
Yeah.
It was emotional. Hey?
Gut punch. Absolute gut punch. But there was one episode where, you remember I texted you, just going, bro.
God, that me as well. I was like on the edge of my seat. It's like,
literally,
you feel sick. You're like, what's going to happen?
But then it was funny because it's when you recognize stuff where they film, and I was like, that's Narrabeen. They're filming at Narrabeen. But then where he is not the shot front at Narrabeen.
It's a little bit, you got to kind of just...
But I love that. I love that degree to it. But there was a moment in season 2 where I truly chalk this up to one of the best fight scenes I've seen, because it wasn't like, again, stylized. It wasn't...
Which one?
In the bush, when he...
Hey.
How do I say this?
Are you going to watch it though?
Probably.
Will you remember this by the time you watch it? No, you won't.
Yes, I will.
Oh, with the dog?
Don't spoil
with the dog. Yeah, with the dog.
That's why I love the action scenes. Hey, they're so like, they just feel like...
Because they're shooting at each other.
I always like... No matter what episode it is, I always feel so scared for Ray.
Oh, dude!
Like I'm like nothing.
What
happens
situation
to you,
is it? Yeah,
like, yeah. But you know that somehow he's gonna like work his way out of it because he's just so clever. Like such good writing.
He like as soon as he clocks that there's two people in the bush, just straight away
Yeah.
jump for cover like it's on, and they're
Yeah.
shooting at each other, and he gets
Yeah.
one guy, and then the two that are left over, they're just like, "Oh, are you empty? Like you out?"
Yeah,
They're like,
yeah.
"Yeah," like fucking show me.
Oh yeah, and,
And they both hold their guns out,
Yeah.
and then they just walk up to each other, and they're like, "Fuck, let's
Yeah,
go."
yeah.
And it's not fucking like bang bang duck weave bang bang like
Yeah, no,
fucking
it
cool
just
moves and
feels
shit.
like-
It's a smaller guy against a bigger guy, and then you just it's so gritty and
Yeah.
What'd you
real.
give it? Was it good? Like great?
Oh, it's fucking great.
It's
yeah,
my third favorite show of all time.
it's
I don't know about
it's
you,
up
but you
there.
love
Like
it, yeah.
it's up there, and I love Gary.
Oh.
Bloody Gazza.
I
Can't
love
go
the
past
moments
him,
where it's
eh?
just them
Yeah.
talking shit in the van about like, so who's the best Batman?
yeah, yeah.
Or the thing with his magazine.
Oh, dude.
The magazine.
And that joke that they set up in season 1 with
Yeah.
the PP guy. He's the PP guy.
Yeah.
The
yeah.
PP
And then
guy.
that just paid off in
Have you
season
seen
one
the
or
season
episode
season
yet
there.
with the balcony where he's on the
Yeah.
balcony? So good.
Josh, you need to watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah. I
they're
will.
telling everyone to watch.
Because the
but
thing
yeah,
is, they're
it's-
only half-an-hour episodes.
Yeah,
I met the
it's an
editor.
easy watch.
Did you?
Yeah. It was a
We
guy
have
that
even
I
more
had
reason
the
to watch
meeting with.
Oh, really?
A while ago.
Oh, fuck yeah. Well,
Yeah.
even more reason to watch it then.
Yeah, 100%, bro.
Yeah. Because as well, Ray has like emotional things he needs to deal with, but the way he
Yeah,
deals
yeah.
with it, you're just
Yes.
like, bro,
Yeah,
he's going to fucking unleash. soon,
yeah,
like-
but it's so like, it's a little bit of a spoiler, but yeah, there's a certain emotional moment halfway through where something happens between two characters. Do you know what I'm talking about?
in season 3 or
Season 2. Between a male and female character.
Oh, why am I forgetting?
Halfway through season 2, it's a pretty
Yeah.
big, like, significant change in the story. But they kind of just like make that decision, and it's like there's a good reason for it to happen, and then the rest of the series just goes on.
Right.
Yeah,
Oh, I can't remember.
I'll
for the
tell
life
you
of me.
like off the air.
Yeah,
and you'll be
done.
like, oh yeah, but
Yeah.
Well, I'm definitely going to give it a watch.
Yeah.
You have
Eventually.
to.
It's on the
But
list.
yeah, so
and how good's the little girl as well?
dude,
Oh,
she's
I'm
amazing.
pretty sure
Little
that's
girl,
the,
incredible.
the daughter of like Nash.
Chloe Grace
in real
Moretz,
life or
right?
something,
Oh,
or
really?
something like
Makes
that.
sense. Yeah. They even said that in the
Yeah.
text. I was like, she's great.
Yeah,
But, yeah. Rebel Ridge, Arcane, and Mr. In Between.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking check me out. They're fucking great.
Solid lads. we're about an hour in.
Oh my
Ah,
I
god!
haven't even touched the fucking progress yet. I'm thinking maybe I don't know, we'll see how we go for time, but maybe we combine
One big
this
sort of progress wrap.
combined with like a New Year's resolution thing. And
Yeah.
then if we have time, then we do the DV.
I don't know if we'll have time for a DV.
Alright.
Maybe we'll just save that till next year.
Progress, you boys start.
I haven't got much, so I'll just.
What happened with
quickly
the
reel this
film?
Off the bat. Up in the air at the moment.
Tabby one.
I reached out to her today. I'm waiting to hear back. So,
Yeah.
As in the one you want to make,
'Cause
or the
last
one that
time-
you were editing.
Last time
The
they
one I
heard
wanna
from
make.
you were filming the next
yeah,
day.
Yeah. And then got in the car and we were on the phone and she's like, well, we just wait. I was like, yeah,
Okay, yeah,
cool.
yeah,
Let's
yeah.
do that.
What's happened to the one you're editing?
That's kind of up in the air. I've got we were talking about it when I caught up with her and we could be potentially getting my mate to sort of like build a like little set thing to sell the plane more at the start.
Yeah,
And
right. You're
so-
going to build a plane.
No, like just
Is
to,
that
like a
necessary?
yeah, like I said to her I'd float it by him to see if he'd do it, but I don't know. But anyway, we'll see
That
what
just
happens.
seems like okay, whatever.
Anyway, yeah, it's all up in the air at the moment, so I don't really know what's happening with that. But reached out to her today because, like I said, been in Canberra, so it's been
Cool.
everything's on the back foot, but kind of getting back into everything.
Nice.
So there's that, but it's good because I want to kind of do it properly. That
Yep.
action film,
Yeah.
and we'll get there eventually.
What's the thing you're putting all your heart into?
A feature.
Are we all going down
Yeah.
the feature route?
I think we've kind of hit that point in the
Yeah,
career
I think so.
where we're like,
Because
May as well.
I'm thinking of just going to take my time with it. One of the goals that I'm setting for myself, which kind of ties into the resolutions next year, is to like write the feature. I don't care if it takes me all year to write it.
That's exactly
We're all
what
doing
me,
it,
you,
yeah.
Dan,
Yeah.
and Jay are doing.
I literally like all I've done so far is I went on to I forgot the save the cat structure or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's like one that I kind of wanted to base it off. And so I kind of just got post-it notes and I laid it out.
Did
and
I lend you my book?
You did.
I
read
read
a
it
bit.
back at some
I
stage.
gave it back to you.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, you've got
Okay,
it.
cool. Okay.
I don't know. I don't have it anymore.
Sorry, I wasn't sure if it
you're,
was like
you're
on my
good.
shelf.
No, I gave it back to you. So I laid out post-it notes and I wrote like
Yeah.
the structure of a Save the Cat, but I put the like scene headings underneath it as well. And so I have posted notes of a feature structure, and I'm going to kind of just like write each scene like my way. And then I was going to sort of just go, all right, boys, let's all sit down with our feature ideas and like tell each other what we think. And then you can kind of like bounce ideas and stuff. Because
with us.
Yeah, with you guys.
Cool.
Because
so I thought you were talking about like mates at work or
oh,
something.
no. Because that was another thing that I kind of wanted to touch on before, but I said I'd get into it in the progress, was that I was like, I kind of thought to myself, like, I'm just going to do it on my own and figure out how it's done, like fucking YouTube.
Yeah, fuck it. Chuck yourself in the deep end.
And then I was like, but like, there's only so much I can do by myself, because there's a certain point I get to and I hit a block and I'm like, fuck, I don't know how to get past this. So I kind of want to be with people.
Oh, bro,
that go,
I truly believe you can't do shit by yourself.
Then I was like, I need to be in the room with the boys and like, like, fuck guys, how do I get past this point? Because I'm at a loss. So that was something that I'm kind of like, I've got a couple scenes that I want to write, but there's like blanks I need to fill in terms of like story and structure and all that stuff that I need to sit with you guys and be like, hey, how did you get past this point when you're trying to like do, I don't know, the inciting incident, or you're fucking trying to like foreshadow something, or do these are just examples. They aren't things I'm going to essentially do, but I want to do the story justice. And I feel like I can only get to a certain point before I need to like go, hey, like,
also,
help me.
You don't have to take that as Bible. Like, I feel like you don't always have to. I think something that I've learned, I mean, to be fair, I've only done short films, is like the structure they give you, like, is just a starting point.
Oh, literally, 100%. It's going to change.
I think you do need to have a good understanding and foundation before you start breaking rules.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Which again, I'm still trying to figure out how to do everything properly. Like, it's hard. It's not easy.
It's something as simple as like how do I really like set up my character essentially? Like at the start, like the first time you see him doing something, how do you get sort of tell the audience this is the kind of person he is? Like, but there's only so much of that you can put on paper before it comes out with the visuals in terms of all departments and stuff like that, which I'm excited to get to way down the road.
Yeah, but I think it's a skill to weave that story in and just give enough information where you get like a good idea of what everything is without explicitly saying things.
Exactly.
I think when you read like professional scripts and stuff, you understand how they do it.
Because I have my main character with his A story, let's say, like his A plot, and then I do have a B plot, and then when they eventually converge, it's like a pivotal moment of the story. I've got that much per se.
That's something they say in Save the Cat, but I don't think every story needs a
it.
B
Yeah,
plot.
absolutely. But then I have two like comedic relief characters that are side characters to the main character, and I'm like, I want to write funny shit that happens to them throughout the movie, but like, you know, how do I do that and like not spend too much time on them? And then like, so these are all questions that I'm asking myself, but I'm like, I need to kind of get into that zone again, but get it to a point where I've written some stuff so it's got some legs, and then like sit down with you guys and be like, all right.
I think the book that you just bought would be beneficial for him as well.
Yeah.
What book did you just buy?
It's called Anatomy of Story by John Truby.
Yeah, you recommended it.
But it kind of like shows you how to interweave all those elements together.
Oh, sick. Cool.
Like it's,
I think it would be cool. I mean, we'll talk about what's coming next year, but if we were to catch up, like, not on the podcast, with the feature progress.
Absolutely.
And then if we're at we get each other's feedbacks along the way.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be every week, but I think it would be like a nice thing to do next year.
Because that was the other thing. You guys maybe picked up on this when I put the progress in of staying. I was like, sweet, I've got it to this point. Fucking what's next? Like I'm at a block. I don't literally know what to do next. So that's kind of, I want to make this script like as good as it can be, to the point where then like people get on board with their ideas as well. There's not so, again, there's always going to be questions and there's things I'm open to, but I want to get it to a point where people start putting their input into it rather than going, what did you mean by this and this and blah, blah. Like I want it to all make sense and be cohesive and not rush it. So that's why I'm like setting next year as like, I'll do little things here and there, but like the feature is the overall arching thing.
That's what we're doing as well.
Like I don't care if it takes me from January to December and like multiple drafts and stuff. Yeah. But like, I've got like a starting point, but that's kind of what I'm going to sort of pour my heart into, is like,
good man,
sort of getting that to a really good point, just having a script that I'm like, this is done, and then like start pre-production, I guess. But
Love it.
there's
idea.
that, and then everything else is kind of
Good.
up in the air at the moment. But yeah, that's,
all right.
pretty much
It's
what
okay
I'm
to
doing.
be
So
up in the air.
I'll be hitting you guys up in terms of hey, how do I write again?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's going to be a feature. We've all never done it
New
before. So
challenge
it'll
for
be-
all of us. Yeah.
100%. So
think that's the
it's
way.
mainly like
then we're going to try and get them made.
yeah, exactly right.
Yeah, that's the hard part.
Hey, at least we're saving all next year. That
Yeah.
means if we're not.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. So I'm keen to go on that journey and just kind of like go, all right, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Mind you, I was talking to Austin about how with Mr. In Between, there was a feature film that was made
Ooh, yeah.
before the show, like as a sort of proof of concept almost, but it's a full feature film.
Crazy.
They made it for 10 grand. And the guy that plays the main actor in the show, he
Was it good quality?
He wrote and directed it. I mean, it shows you like, well, I've only seen bits of it. I haven't watched the whole thing yet, but it just shows you the essence of like the character. Like you see potential, right? You
Yeah,
see,
for sure.
like how good he is as a character and how captivating. And it's like, it's almost like vlog style. I think like the premise of the movie is that he hires a videographer to like bring him along on his hits or something.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. The videographer, like I saw this one clip where the videographer's like, you're not going to hurt that guy. He's like, he just looks at him. He's like, he says something. I can't remember what he says. He's like, I'm not going to hurt that guy. Like, and then he like, you just see him like get out of the car and then go into the guy's house with a baseball bat.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he just drags him out. It's so funny.
Austin, you should join us when we do acting lessons next year.
Oh,
Because I feel like that would help. You're like, I don't know. I
Oh,
feel like it's-
I'm doing a workshop in like 2 weeks, a full day thing.
The fuck?
Sorry, I forgot to tell you.
Bad info, bro.
but no,
That's right.
I
I'm
kind
pretty
of wanna-
busy till the end of the year anyways.
I kind of want to like, get into a headspace because like I said at the start, I don't know everything, but I want to sort of just pick people's brains and kind of just go back to learning in a sense to get, things to a point where it's like, this is done, mad, let's get it made.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really essentially my progress.
Damn.
All right, my progress. Yeah, not too much has changed in the past 2 weeks. I've just been doing my editing. Barista's coming along nicely. I've started to put some of the elements in, like just temp music, and it's good. It's got like, it's really nice when you have certain things that you hope will come out well, and then as you piece it together, you see that it's working.
Yep.
And there's a certain scene that's like, it's the scene with Bailey, where they're going back and forth and there's voiceover and stuff. And as I'm piecing that together, it's meant to feel quite chaotic because it's like two characters talking and then there's a voiceover in the middle and then the phone starts ringing and then the boss comes in. Like it's a lot happening. And it actually, like it feels chaotic once
Good.
you start like cutting it together and putting all those elements in. And I'm like really happy that it's
Nice.
coming out like that.
Yeah, cool.
Good.
So I'm satisfied with how it's all coming together. I've got to send, Lockie asked for a rough cut actually, so I'm going to send him.
Lucky us. For a
Yeah,
rough
yeah,
cut. Yeah, nice.
So I'll send him that.
Sorry,
So
go
I'm
on.
gonna send Lockie a rough cut, and then what else have I been doing? I'll talk about the thing that I mentioned at the start of the podcast.
Yep.
So I should have done this probably 5 years ago,
Yeah.
but
Oh no,
it's time
what?
to do it now.
Oh no, what are you doing?
'Cause I have no other choice. I'm gonna make a 5-year plan.
Oh fuck! Thought something fucking.
Good.
No, but like a definite one because I think I need to figure out like my trajectory forward like properly. Because like I am getting to an age now where I do need some sort of stability, but I want to keep moving forward in the direction of filmmaking, right? And it's like, for example, like one of my goals that I have is, I mean, I can talk more later, but I do have a goal. I'd love to get a feature film made and put in cinemas by 30, right?
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah,
let's
yeah.
just say that's
Yeah.
that's a goal that I achieve, right?
Yeah.
It's like, and that would be great, but it's like that for the next 5 years, that's not going to be like my main source of income, right? So I have to figure out how to make that happen
Of
while
course.
also making enough money throughout the next 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, and I want to be moving forward in my career. I don't just want to be a PA forever, you know?
exactly.
So it's like, I need to figure out my journey forward in terms of making money and also still being able to prioritize directing.
Mate, you can only win Australian Idol so many times. you know?
Exactly, man. Like I've won it twice now. Like,
Exactly.
so yeah, I think that's sort of, I just want to reevaluate. And I had a moment this morning where for a second I was a little bit hard on myself. I was like, oh man, like have I even really moved anywhere? And I realized it's because of that fear I have, right? Like it's, I keep moving, going back into my old habits and doing what's comfortable and getting those lower lower, like the entry level jobs, because it's easier, right? And it's like I don't put too much responsibility on myself and too much pressure. But I have to be like, you know what, like if I'm gonna take a step forward, like I need to be brave, you know. I need to push myself and do those things that are scary and
exactly.
Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at now.
Good man.
Trying to figure out the next steps forward.
Good shit, man. Good stuff.
Yeah.
What about the podcast? Because we had a little talk.
Yeah.
I think we should all have an
talk about
open conversation about it.
Yeah.
How have you been feeling lately?
Well, I think we just needed to chat because, and this is something that, again, it's like every now and then you need to reevaluate where we're at in our lives and where we want to go moving forward.
Yeah.
And I think in the past, like there have been moments where you and I have been a little bit on different pages about what we wanted out of the podcast.
Yes.
Or like the direction we wanted to go.
Yeah.
And I think now I'm a little bit more at peace with like
what we're doing.
Yeah. But I think that also means that because I think for you it's like you see it as a little bit more of a relaxed thing, right? Like it's a catch up for us. It's a way for us to you know, talk about what we're going through and stuff. And hopefully that resonates with other people, and that's great. Yeah. But then for me, and I'm happy to do that, but I'm like, if that's what it is, I don't think I can make it my absolute top priority. Because I am getting busier, and I don't think it's a thing I can do every week, and you have to edit it every week. Like it is a lot of work. Yeah. Whereas like the other option is that like if you know, I would prioritize it if it was something that we were pushing to be bigger. Yeah. But then it's like for that to be a thing, you really have to put like a lot of work into it, right?
100%.
Like if you want to grow and you want to get bigger and better guests
you
and stuff,
put money into it as well.
You got to put money in, you got to put a lot of work in, and it's like, I think you just have to ask yourself, like, what am I willing to sacrifice, or what am I willing to do to get a certain goal? I
agree.
Yeah. I agree too. It's one of those things where like, I know for me it's different because like I live really far away. Like I left at 8:45 this morning and got here like right on 10 and like the traffic.
Well, that's the thing. Like because of your life circumstances, you just can't put that level of commitment.
Yeah, exactly. So it's different for me in that aspect, but I do agree with you as well. It's kind of one of those things that where like Dan said, if it's going to be a priority, like there's other things that might have to sacrifice for it, where that I've kind of thought to myself, like it's, like you said, don't know if you can prioritize it because of all the other things you got going on. Whereas, for me, there's the financial side of it is like the petrol, the tolls and stuff. Each time I come out, it's like that. So that's why I've kind of taken a backseat to it.
Yeah.
But complete sense. I always appreciate coming in to do like the catch up thing, which is what I'm fine to do as well. Is like, if I didn't have that, I kind of get stuck in my own head going like, fuck, I'm not making any progress. So that's what I kind of treat this podcast like. And I could be a bit more active, which is, we all see it. But that's kind of where I'm at with it. It's kind of like, well, I've got this going on, so I can't really afford to do it as often, as frequent as we might want.
I think we just got to remember kind of why we started this.
Exactly.
You know? And it was started to help us more than anybody.
Yeah, but like, to be honest, for me personally, I feel like, because at first it was like to keep ourselves accountable, right? Yeah. But I do, as time goes on, and this is kind of an issue of doing it less frequently, that pressure seems to have lessened in terms of like, I don't feel as responsible to have progress each time. Yeah. Yeah. And then it's like, well, then what's the point if you're not holding yourself accountable? Do you know what I mean? Man. Like, maybe that's something that we need to, or I need to think about.
Well, yeah, I see it a bit differently to you guys.
No, and like if it's it's just a catch up, like I'm happy with that.
No, but that's the thing. I see it as a catch up, but I also see it as like I'm seeing more movies because I want to talk about it. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I'm making progress. Not for the podcast, but like I do have stuff, to bring about.
I think the main issue for me is just time.
Of course,
if it's a weekly thing and I'm not going to be having as much time, it's not just the recording, but it's the editing as well. It's every facet of it. So I think like I'm more than happy to keep doing the podcast. It's just like, and that's why we had that conversation. I said, can we do it fortnightly?
So moving forward, it will probably more of a, it already is like we do it when we can. Yeah. Yeah. But you will be getting an episode every 2 weeks. Yeah. You know what I mean? So in the New Year's, that's kind of what it would be. And in those kind of off weeks between the 2 weeks.
Also, when you look at this season, it's the average has been
every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks.
Yeah. So that's kind of how we'll be moving forward. And, this is, it's unrealistic that we're going to have progress every week, and this podcast is all about being realistic in our journeys in the film industry.
100%.
Right? So that's kind of what it is. And then in those off weeks, if we have like a special guest, like I might be able to bring somebody in and do whatnot, and but it's kind of how we're heading
Yeah,
towards.
literally, 100%.
Anything else to add for your progress?
Oh, yeah, no, not really. Let's just talk about yours.
All right, we have 4 minutes. I'll speed run you through it.
it.
Basically, since I last spoke, we had test screenings.
Yep.
Incredible. I really recommend everybody doing test screenings. It is very daunting. Don't get me wrong. And we gave it to all walks of life. I think we gave it to like 8 people, mix of male, female. We gave it to philosophers, to film critics, to fucking everybody under the sun, writers, journalists, blah, 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 blah. And it was really, really good. Like overall, what I think was the best part to take out of it is that the themes of what we're trying to get across and the emotional reactions that we're getting are hitting. And it's hitting hard, which is really, really good. In saying that, it's been overly positive, which it has. Nobody's had a negative, nobody has disliked the film at all. Everybody's really enjoyed it.
Good. Nice.
In saying that, we've had some really good, not harsh, but real, feedback. And
did the feature
criticism.
writer guy rip you apart?
No. He didn't, which was really good. He came back and gave us some really good ideas. Nice. And they were all constructive. And what we got most out of it is if we put it in as it was now, it would have been fine. We don't want fine. We want great.
Yeah,
so
100%.
We went back and me and Taha collated all the notes, highlighted what we agreed with and what we can work on. Then we watched through the film and made notes on where we can add that in. But the big thing that we took out of it is that we're going to do some additional photography, right?
Nice. For
nothing, right? That we don't need all the actors back. We don't need the crew back. We don't need everything back. Going to film it for like an hour and a half. And
I'm curious as to what you're doing.
Yeah, well, and this kind of additional photography can fill in those gaps because we collated all the common denominators from the feedback, and we're hoping that this kind of hits all those points on which we want to. And then after that, that's pushing our film more to kind of like the hour mark, which is good. We're kind of accepted the fact that it's a medium length featurette. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whatever comes from it, and I'm really happy with it. There's not been one kind of moment throughout the process where I haven't been happy with what we've created, and I still watch it and it hits the same every time for me, which is crazy because I've never had that before. You always have some kind of creative dysmorphia, right?
Yeah.
And I think I've had moments where I've questioned myself, but seeing it go into this next stage with a fresh new eyes,
I think that's kind of the point that I'm hitting with my recent films as well.
Yeah.
Like you hit that point where like, oh, it's actually shaping up.
Yeah, bro.
Better.
1,000%. Anyways, that's what we're kind of doing, and like we said, we have a big year ahead of us next year, and I think that's what I've been doing. We have one more cut, and then we send it off to sound and composing and stuff like that after we've done additional photography, but composing starts next week. Other than that, by the time we next come into the podcast, hopefully we will be almost near done and locked off. Before we go, do you want to say quickly next year a resolution of ours?
So sorry to start, but for me, it's I think the one thing I want to prioritize in my life is structure in terms of with my writing, like learning about structure and also just figuring out a plan forward, just having overall more structure in my life.
100%. I'm probably the same in terms of like I need to like plan out my days a bit more. Granted, I'm a shift worker, so it's a bit chaotic, but like utilizing the time I have in a day, because I found myself a lot recently just sitting on the couch watching stuff, scrolling my phone.
Brother,
it happens.
Same.
Fucking hate myself
Had that
after
yesterday
it.
Morning.
But hey, here's what it is. You need to go through that to realize, hey, I need to stop this shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, in the progress is like just taking my time with the feature and not going, I need to get this made in the next 3 months. Like it's not going to happen if you start it, but I just want to like take my time with it and make sure it's like a really well done thing, and then kind of get into it at the end of the year so I can plan for it in that next new year. So
nice.
26, right? Because we're going into 25.
Yeah.
So just probably more structure and like more videography stuff as well.
That's it, lads. Well, for me, it's mate, we're writing a feature next year.
Good.
Yeah.
That's that, and I'm focusing. Doing that will allow me to save money.
Mm-hmm.
Go on a few holidays, stuff like that. But also it gives me a chance to focus on the kind of unique stance I'm in with this kind of duration of a film, where, you know, the traditional ways of distribution ain't gonna cut it.
Yep.
So whole next year focusing on that and seeing what routes me and Taha go down and concentrate on distributing the Horologist, and have that save feature. Good. Definitely the feature. And I'm looking forward to seeing what we all do in the New Year's. But until then, have a fantastic Christmas and holidays, guys.
You too. And Indy. You too.
And Indy, yes, fantastic stuff. And thank you for all your helps this year.
Absolutely.
With the podcast. It's been fantastic.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We appreciate it.
100%. And, you know, hopefully we'll be back next year with a new lease, new motivation, new inspiration. I'll be just back from New York as well. So
New York with a new accent.
New York with a new accent. All right, ladies and gentlemen, what are we going to do?
Let's tie this little bow on it
episode
for the last time this year.
Nice. All righty, guys. If you want to catch us, the pre-production meeting, the pre-production meeting on YouTube, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast, and the pre-prod pod on TikTok and Instagram. And until next year, guys, happy holidays, and we'll see you then.
See ya.